Ryan Gallagher of iovox, co-founder and CEO. And we're going to talk mainly about AI because everybody is hearing about, talking about, and doing, in some cases, AI. And we want to know more about that. We want to know a little more about iovox and Ryan. And then we'll talk about what's going on with AI. So, Ryan, welcome. Thank you for taking your time. And I know you're in that dark, depressing place called Eleuthera, the Bahamas. So I'm sorry I had to interrupt your afternoon, but it sounds like an idyllic location.
It's pretty grim, but somebody has to do it. You know, somebody's got to take it. And if it has to be me, I'm okay. Thank you very much for taking your afternoon out for me too. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you started iovox after another company.
Yeah.
And it's been around a long time now. What are you doing with AI? And we'll get to in a minute or two to how you have changed from what iovox once was to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of the business really from day one was just to provide more and more information to business users to actually help them run their business. And we looked at Google Analytics and what that was doing on the web and thought there was nothing like that for communication. So that was as vague as it was when we first started. We just thought we could provide a layer on top of telecommunications, emails, whatever, that would actually help people make better business decisions by providing them with real data about what was happening.
And now you've layered in AI. Is AI all hype, mostly hype, a little hype, or something that's becoming real very quickly?
So we've always had machine learning, and so every year, I mean, we had voice agents a long time ago. They just weren't that good. So it's been more of a gradual thing for us rather than a, hey, now we're getting to AI. The emergence of the models which are usable has been incredible, but we've had machine learning and artificial. I'm an engineer by trade, so I've always been excited about, you know, some of the technology that's out there. And it's been a slow progression for us. And then, of course, it's gone into this full-on hype cycle where everybody thinks you can do everything with AI, which is not the case. And so there's a lot of hype out there. There's a lot of illegal practices going out there. I mean, there's a massive difference between the United States and, say, Holland or Germany or the UK or France. So there's the legal implications of some of the stuff that's going on. And then there's the practical, what do you actually get out of it and how accurate it is. So for me, there's a ton of hype out there. There's a lot of people who are doing things they absolutely should not be doing. And then there's some real nuggets of really valuable use cases which are accurate and can directly benefit some of our customers.
Okay, so a use case, a specific nugget use case from one of your customers. What's somebody doing that you can say they're doing this with AI and it's really making a difference?
So I can give you, there's a breakdown of two different things that we tend to look at. One is analysis. So we analyze communications and we find out what's happening. For example, during a phone call, we can figure out if somebody needed a mortgage, somebody needed a loan, somebody was looking to buy a specific brand of car and that car was already sold. So we can use this to analyze the communications. And then we also have a second strand, which is an automation side. And I can look at our automation side. We do restaurant bookings, for example, and we've been doing this for about 10 years. We've done over $1 billion of restaurant bookings with an automated agent, which is driven by KeyPress. And one customer alone is doing about £3 million a month in bookings, which no human is involved in at all. So what's happening is that is becoming smarter and better, whereas before it used to be, oh, you can press a button and then we know how many guests, what time, what date, and then we transcribe your name. Now it's conversational. So now you can actually converse with it. It has a small model behind it, and then it has a data store of information. So you can say, do you have plant-based options? Are dogs allowed? And it will have a conversation with you based on information it pulls in real time from an API. So we're seeing more and more use cases where it's a blend of the two. And another really simple use case is our voicemail automation product. So we have customers who 75% of all calls go to voicemail in some instances, which is crazy. And then those voicemails are gone. So what we do is we actually take that voicemail, transcribe the voicemail, and then condense it into a summary, a sentiment, action items, and we pull out things like contact details. And then we can put them into a CRM system. We can send them via email, whatever you want. So what happens is in the morning, somebody opens up their branch, they go in and they have a list of, here's the calls that you guys missed yesterday, and here's who you need to call, and here's the action items. This person's trying to book a viewing or a test drive on Friday. So we kind of take out the necessity for somebody to listen to all these voicemails, which they never do, and we condense all that info and then push it into actionable items.
Sounds fair to me. Now, you guys started out as a relatively straightforward call tracking service. The evolution is pretty profound. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm an engineer, so I buy gadgets all the time. I've got these new Ray-Ban Meta glasses I'm playing around with. I've got everything. I've got an Oculus, well, not Oculus anymore. There's the Meta Quest over here. I'm always buying toys. So I'm always building new things. So we've always been evolving. Like we rewrite our entire stack every few years. And I really enjoy technology aspects of things. So when we started the business, believe it or not, we were cutting edge, but looking back now, of course, it was nothing, it was a drop in the ocean of what we built now. And it's been this slow evolution, which now is speeding up, because whereas before call tracking was all about how many calls did you get? And then we added on, where did they come from? Were they answered? All these sorts of things. Now it's about who's the person who's calling? What are they calling about? How was the call handled? We're doing call scoring so that we're actually working out, did the person who answered the phone ask these 10 questions? If so, did that result in a booking? If not, which of those questions is the most important to getting these bookings through? So we're doing this mass analysis on, like we had one customer who gave us 2 million old calls. And that's important as well. We don't just do it on the calls that run through our system. Some customers will come to us and they will have, millions of calls recorded. They will pass them to us and we'll analyze them to get a baseline and a history. And then we will be able to actually do the bring your own communications effectively. So we can analyze text messages, phone calls, emails. We use that for spam. So we'll check we have a customer in North America in automotive who has a lot of SMS spam and a lot of phone spam. And we automatically analyze that and then block senders based on that. We contact them to tell them, hey, this customer has got somebody who's trying to sell them something which doesn't exist.
So you're the reason that every time I call anywhere, I get a voice tree of 34 options on the IVR, and then they figure out that I'm calling them and they immediately click me off. I got it now. I get
That's
it.
a good solution. But
thanks.
All I can say is, what are you doing to get on that list? I mean, you must be doing something bad.
They've got a block on my phone number. I can tell.
Well, one real simple use case is that, and we've done this for years, but it used to be much more manual. So we have a call center in, where are they now? They are in Portugal. And they supported 19 languages. And the first question was press 1 for English, press 2 for French, press 3 for Spanish, press 4 for German. And the first thing we did is we said, we know what language they speak because they're browser language. So we can cut that out. We know they're a host or a guest. This was a booking, hosting sort of thing. So we're like, we know what they want. So we started slicing IVRs away. And that was a long time ago we started doing that. And their hang-up rate just went through the floor because people obviously weren't hanging around for this IVR. But now what we're actually doing is we have conversational IVRs. We have a customer who came to us and said, hey, we want to add these 12 things. Do you want this? We're like, look, you give us the file, we'll create a conversational bot who'll say, hi, how can I help you? And you'll say, oh, I'm looking to test drive this car. Great. Okay. Do you know which model of car you're looking for and what time and date? So that it's conversational. So we're trying our best to cut out all of that old stuff and reinvent the wheel effectively of these solutions, which are horrible to a human being, and try and improve those things so that they're much closer to actual interaction with a human being. And sometimes better, depending on the human being you're speaking to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been making some doctor calls, and let me tell you, almost anything is better than the human being, but the IVR is a pain in the neck
Yeah,
too.
we
Um,
work in medical as well.
Thanks for being our diamond sponsors at Autos Buzz. It's a big investment. We appreciate it. Why do you find the conference so important?
I'll be honest, I don't go to many conferences. I go to two, and yours is one of them. And the reason is there's the right people in the room. And there's actually people who we learn from as well. So I don't go to places just so we can advertise and just so we can actually talk. I like to meet people who've got ideas. I like to meet our customers. A lot of our customers go there. So it's an ideal solution to go meet C-level execs from our existing customer base and to see what's happening in the industry. So a lot of these events, honestly, just aren't worth going to. Yours is. We love it. We get the right mix of people in the room. We get and always end up coming away with great ideas, good meetings, and just new business. It's always worth it. So I appreciate you guys putting a good event on.
Well, and don't worry, we'll cut that clip out and save it for the testimonial to make sure that everybody sees it. So, as you mentioned, lots of the Autos Buzz attendees and others who are watching this video are C-level executives. One thing they should be doing about AI now, other than calling, iovox, of course, which they should be
Call their
doing, but
lawyers.
what's the call their lawyers? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the
You think
issues we have is we've had some people who've done things with other providers who run things through ChatGPT. All of our models are in-house. Everything comes to us as GDPR first. We're a European company first. So we protect data. And there are so many people who are cutting corners and building solutions on open models, which are feeding private information onto the internet. So we've gone in and cleaned up a lot of these where people have overzealously been promised things that don't really work or things which do work, but they're a massive privacy leak. So you have to be extremely careful. So we use everything in-house. Nothing is on a learning model. Nothing is on a public model. We don't touch those things. We train our own in-house models. So I think the big thing, honestly, especially in Europe and in the States to an extent, especially in California, which is becoming more closer to Europe in terms of the privacy, be very careful and don't believe what you read on the tin. Test. We get so much vapor comes our way, and I speak at a lot of AI things, and I've got a lot of friends who are involved in AI, and I can probably tell you every day I get a new thing which doesn't exist, which is like, oh, this is amazing. It's 100% accuracy. No, it's not. I mean, and the other thing, which is one big advantage for us, is that all of these models are trained on structured conversation, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Ours is trained on human conversation, private data. So most AI models are trained on what's called promiscuous data, which is publicly available data. Our models are training on people's conversation. So it's private data. So it is more accurate because it knows how two humans talk to each other on the phone or send each other's text messages. Very different from how people communicate on Twitter. I remember with the emergence of AI, everyone was saying, oh, AI it's racist, it's whatever. No, you've trained it on Twitter and Facebook. That's the humans who are at fault, not the artificial intelligence, because it's learned from bad human behavior.
Well, we have probably run out of time before we run out of topics. Just
Yeah.
to give a disclaimer, Ryan is live and in person in his
Yes, I
home in
am.
Eleuthera, and I am not an AI bot either, as you could tell from my uh, whatever. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching, assuming you're out there watching. And we appreciate what you said about Autos Buzz. It is a great conference, and it is always great to see you there. Thank you for being a sponsor as well.
Thank you. And to anybody listening, if you want to even just talk about AI, reach out. If you want to learn how to make more money, reach out. But I'm always available just to have a chat. I love the stuff. I really love technology. So new use cases, old use cases, reach out. Happy to chat.
Yeah, I should have put your LinkedIn link on the bottom, but I didn't do subtitles because we switched to Microsoft Teams. And they
I'm
can
easy to
find you on
find.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
at Ryan Gallagher and iovox,
Yeah.
IOVOX.
IOVOX. Yeah. Ryan Gallagher. I'm easy to find.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.